and you'll get one.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. A lot of new faces. This is, I'll call this the party for Angel.
Sounds good to me.
Party for 20.
There's David.
Yes.
Hey, Janet.
Hi, David.
Just to make some, generally I feel like I'm always talking to familiar faces at these services. So I'll just introduce myself and introduce my co-minister this evening. Most of, in this case, the majority knows, but to introduce myself, I'm Reverend Terence Harding. I am the pastor and president of the Open Doorway Spiritualist Community located in Brooklyn, New York. And Angel has been attending and been a good friend for many years. We had the pleasure of being in the ministry class together. And it was just a wonderful journey that we shared together. And Angel's been very supportive for the Open Doorway. You're also a Brooklynite, so fellow Brooklynite. Are you still in Brooklyn, Angel?
Yes, I'm in Brooklyn.
BK represent. Angel is my co-minister, Reverend Angel Favorite. And we hope you enjoy this service. We're going to begin with an invocation, which is a fancy word for opening prayer. So I ask everybody to close their eyes for a moment. And before I go into this prayer, there's actually a backstory to this prayer. It's a very inspirational prayer. It's one that I like to do things kind of often let Spirit guide me. Well, the shirt that I'm wearing, you'd have to open your eyes to see that, but the shirt that I have been wearing, you might have already seen and got a good look at. I haven't worn in many years, and in the pocket, I found a fortune from a fortune cookie. And it said, and this is why I must have kept it in the pocket, because it said, the essential conditions of everything you do must be choice, love, and passion. And so in prayer, Divine Parent, guide us in the choices that we must make, instill love in our hearts as we go on our journey, and may our lives and all that we do from our choices and from those we love bring us passion. Amen.
Amen.
And yeah. So I'm pausing to share the screen. That way, then you can all see our next portion of the service is the Spiritualist Principles, which I'm going to read off, and just quietly in your mind, read along with me if you can, and if you will. We subscribe to the following principles: infinite intelligence, the deity, the designing and creating energy for everything in the universe. One universe, many dimensions. From one source came all that is present in our world, our galaxy, and beyond. The immortal soul. The soul is eternal. We seek truth within ourselves, from other souls, from sacred writings, and from the natural order that sustains us. communication between the material and the non-material world. Spirit transcends all dimensions. All souls, flesh, and spirit communicate with each other. Personal responsibility. Cause produces effect through thoughts, words, and deeds. We create ourselves and our circumstances, and we are singly responsible for our choices and creations. The golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you, is our highest morality. And now we're going to be going into the meditation portion of our service tonight. And so I'd ask everybody to get comfortable wherever they are. Maybe wiggle in your chair or couch, or it's okay if you're even lying in bed. Just if you fall asleep, don't be surprised. Then I know that I've done my job right. And if I could also ask everybody just to mute their mics for us too. I really appreciate it.
Oh. Is mine muted?
No, but if you're having trouble, Patty, figuring it out, that's okay. Just trying to minimize as much noise as possible. And just close your eyes whenever you get comfortable in your chair, couch, favorite sacred place. You begin to feel the energy around you. The energy of peace, serenity, and calmness. You treasure the silence. And you are enveloped in warmth and love. And your body begins to fully relax. Calmly breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really feeling air pass your lips. And with every breath, relaxation comes to your mind. Relaxation comes to your neck and shoulders. Relaxation comes to your hands, arms, legs, and feet. As you become fully relaxed, surrounded by warmth and peace, the sensation, the feeling of the room around you begins to fade away. An image of a field appears before you. You come to an expansive field. Red roses stretching for miles beyond what you could possibly see. These beautiful red roses. You walk along the edge of this field. Admiring vibrant red balloons. And the sun shining its warm light on your face. As you walk a little further along this field, come to a path, a break in the field of roses. Begin to follow this path, leading you to the center of this field. You walk along this path, leading you to a circular patch of soft green grass. So soft, feels like an inviting bed to lay down on. You lie down on this soft, cradling grass. You begin to absorb the vibrations of the ground beneath you. Soak in the rays of sun shining above you. And absorb healing energy of these beautiful red roses. I will leave you in that space for a little while so you can absorb all the healing vibrations from what nature has to offer. Now, having been given this gift, rejuvenation and healing energy, get up from the soft grass, begin to walk back through the clearing, brushing your fingers on the soft red petals. Reaching the edge of the field of these roses. You turn around and admire the scene one last time. And you give Mother Nature thank you, gratitude for this gift. Fields, the sky and the trees begin to fade around you. Begin to sense the room around you. Begin to feel the sensation of your body. Tingle in your toes and fingertips. Full of that healing energy that you receive. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes and come back to the room. And when you're ready, I'll have us read the prayer for spiritual healing. And if you would like to read along with me, you may. I encourage it. We ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from our minds and bodies and to restore us to perfect health. We ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and we will do our part. We ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. We put our trust in the love and power of Spirit. Amen. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on that journey. I hope it was healing and relaxing. If you didn't know already, Angel inspired it. The next portion of our service is what I've at this point dubbed the offering portion of our service, but currently right now the open doorway isn't accepting any donations. So we figured with being online and having like-minded individuals to join us for these services, that we would feature charities and organizations that are nonprofit or do good in the world, and shine a light on those organizations and say, if you were expecting or wanting or had the intention of giving some money or whatever little money you wanted to give. I always said when we were meeting up back in person, I said, we'll take rolls of pennies. We don't care. I never got a roll of pennies though. But we would ask that intention to give to us would be directed to the charity that we have selected for this service. And I'm going to put it up on the screen for all to see here, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So for this services charity that I want to feature, of course, we all know that we just ended February, and being February being Black History Month, I wanted to feature an organization that that I've been looking into that really does amazing work. I have a incredible sense of pride in education. I find it is an essential source of good in the world is this education. And I feel that we can really overcome so many of the challenges that we face by the education, not only that we give ourselves, but we give the next generation. And this organization that I've selected deals with such education. And we'll talk a little bit about them. So Facing History in Ourselves believes the bigotry and the hate that we witness today are the legacy of the brutal injustices of the past. So if we face our collective history and how it informs our attitudes and behaviors, that may allow us to choose a world of equality and justice. And what they are doing is implementing different strategies, re-educating teachers to address these histories, and allow those teachers and those educational institutions to start opening a dialogue for children or young adults. And what they have learned in studies is that through learning about this and discussing it and getting a full grasp of why we're facing the problems that we're facing now in this country and all over the world, it's motivating this next generation to start speaking up and taking action. So I will drop the link into the chat box, but I think this is just a really amazing organization, and they do really amazing work. So Facing History in Ourselves, look into it. Of course, I'll drop the link to the donate page in the chat box for everybody. But take a look at the whole website. It's they've really put it together to make it very digestible for everybody to understand what their goal is and what they're trying to do. All right. Nope. So, thank you for listening, and I hope it leads to some light in the world. Anyways, so yeah, I'll send out that link in just in a jiffy. But for the next portion of our service is the one I'm looking forward to the most, and I hope everybody else here is looking forward to the most, is the chance of our good dear friend, Reverend Angel Favorite, to share their words and inspirations. So I'm going to feature you here, put you in the spotlight. I know your favorite thing.
Well, I'm not going to look at myself. Thank you.
we get a better view of your altar.
Oh,
The altar's very beautiful.
yeah, thank you so much for your meditation. It's really in alignment with me tonight, and the offerings. You'll see when I start speaking. But here's our friend with us tonight, offering us support. Okay, so I guess hello everyone. Thank you for co-creating with us tonight, and it's so good to see your faces and hear your voices, feeling your energies. We have a lot of new people joining us, and a lot of these people come from my community in Michigan, and we're opening our hearts even wider to welcome them in. You are loved and you are welcome, and thank you for being here. So this talk is going to be a little more interactive maybe than usual. I guess my style these days is to do everything at once. So we're going to create a multi-layered environment for this transmission, and I'm going to ask for your participation at times, and I'm going to call in spirit. I'm going to open the 4 directions. I'm going to call in the elements, which is done in many traditions, but mostly coming from Native American and pagan ceremony, to create a container for us to be guided by spirit and connect with each other on a deeper level. I'll also be using some theta activation techniques to call in energies and download frequencies into our bodies so that we can know and feel the frequency of unconditional love from the Creator's perspective. If you agree to this, you can say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's get ourselves back up into that meditation space that Terence did such a great job earlier, and we're going to go up this time though. We're going to go up to theta. So thank you for grounding us, Terence. So let's settle in again, and we'll just quickly get up there. Close our eyes and take a deep breath. Center in our hearts, and we send this blessing in our hearts down to the core of Mother Earth, and we thank her. And as we breathe back into our heart, we see a big ball of iridescent white light coming up from the center of the earth into our bodies, through our feet, traveling up, opening up all our chakras along the way. It travels up to our root, our sacral, solar plexus, our heart, our throat, third eye, and crown. And as it enters our crown, it gets bigger and bigger, enveloping our entire body, and it carries us up, leaving Earth, and now out past the atmosphere, beyond the universe, past the white lights, past the dark lights, past the white lights, past the jelly-like substance that is the laws. Through the pink law of compassion, we see an iridescent pearly white light in the shape of a rectangle, and we are now pulled through that window into the 7th plane of existence. This pure energy of love. And if you look around and you see anybody here with you, go a little bit higher. And so we ask, Creator of all that is, it is requested that we hear, when we hear the words poof, we will be transported back into this theta state in order to receive your downloads and frequencies. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Show us it is done. And so you'll want to say yes if you're in agreement with that. And we call in the guardians now of the east, north, south, and west, the air, earth, water, fire, and spirit in the center. And we ask for your presence in guiding this conversation. And thank you for allowing us to open our hearts even wider to share our love with each other. Thank you. So today is a 3-day, and it's the number of mastery coming into balance with a triangulation of mind, body, and spirit. And it's a portal day. And so I'm in the habit of choosing a tarot card every morning. And this morning I'll share with you what was given to us from the Thoth deck. And it was the Three of Swords, which if you are familiar, if you can't see, I'll describe it. It's three swords, and it's going into a flower, and it's, it says sorrow at the bottom. And so I was like, well, okay, how about we pick another one too, so we can get some support for that. And so, the next card came up as the Two of Cups. And this flower is pouring out its love into these cups, overfilling. And there's love written at the bottom. And this is the perfect, these are the perfect cards for today for us, because we're talking about coming into balance and the shadow of the heart. And let's see. So, yes, as you know, we are finally leaving winter and heading into spring, and it's really good news to help us come into that balance. We welcome the warmth of the sun returning and the nature blooming to support us. And so for today's discussion, I was guided to consult with a friend named the Rose. And I've been going into the Akashic records as a practice lately. And so I opened up the records of the Rose before this service. So it's really, the Rose is really speaking to you now. It's not really me. So we'll let the Rose tell you the story. So my family middle name is Rose, Angel Rose Favorite. And I know that I am a guardian of the Rose lineage. And this is the message that my family has carried in their hearts, and maybe unbeknownst to them. So this is my story, and you'll see it's also your story. So the first time I met the Rose was almost 2 years ago. I was working with herbs and flowers to make a head wash to clean energy, sometimes known as Olympia by Spanish-speaking cultures, using rue, rosemary, bay leaves, chamomile, and roses. And part of the co-creation process when you're working with plant medicine is you need to meet the plant. So you open the space from your heart, and there's a little button right here in the middle of your chest, and you can quickly push it to get into that heart space. So poof, creator of all that is, it is requested that whenever we push our heart buttons, our hearts flip on that 528 hertz frequency. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Show us, it is done. And I would say yes to that. And you ask the plant permission to work with you. You ask for its assistance to activate its medicinal qualities, to aid in the healing work that we're doing together. And then you wait for a response. And what I got back was really mind altering for me. It was the first encounter with a plant I ever had. I mean, who knew that these were living telepathic beings with consciousness? And, they've been waiting so long to connect with us and for us to remember our old friends. And this, this meeting this plant, this burst of energy was pushed into my heart. A depth of feeling came over me. It was joy, it was sorrow, it was loneliness, it was love, it was longing, it was friendship, all at once. It was a mirror for my heart. And this feeling of acknowledgement from a long lost friend, a reconnection that I didn't know I was missing. And I cried in gratitude over my bowl of 2-year-old dried rose petals that had been sitting in my closet. And a new world was open to me. So a few days ago, I started consulting with the Rose again. I opened the records, I slept with the rose petals under my pillow, and I asked a few questions. What will help us come into balance at this time? What simple things can we do to connect more deeply with our hearts and the hearts of loved ones and strangers? How can we create space to work through the energies that are surfacing from our environments, from our past lives, from our ancestors? How do we move through this pain and grief These are big questions. And the rose showed up. It showed me its surrender, how it holds its frequency no matter what the weather is. It leans on the branch for support. It bends around the fence. It bathes in the light of the sun. It soaks up the rain, and it lets it cleanse off the energies of the day. It grows down, rooting into the earth in order to gather the strength it needs to grow up. So I've been diving into these energies in the past few months, and some supports I've found came in the form of sitting with spirit. I created an ancestor altar to better understand where I come from and start to have conversation with spirit, and how do we heal the pains and the traumas that are now stored in our body, that have been passed down through our DNA and belief systems, and the shame and the guilt and the violence of these lives. These energies that have been surfacing in my consciousness to be resolved. And what has come through is showing me that oneness connection. My DNA is humanity, and it is the earth. And connecting deeper with nature will reveal my heart, and the rose portal. The rose portal opened to me. And I've also been doing some other shamanic studies where I've been guided to open the roads of my mind, body, and spirit. And in some cultures, they ask for help from larger beings, opening the crossroads of the universe, of the upper world and the underworld. In Brazil or West Africa, they ask the Orishas, Elegua, Papa Legba, or in pagan practices, Hecate is the road opener. There are many gods and goddesses who are gatekeepers for new worlds. And if those energies don't resonate with you, the rose tells me that it can be that road opener for you, if you ask. She is the embodiment of the Divine Mother. And like the symbol of the Rosicrucian cross, the rose sits in the center, the opener of the path. So we can begin meeting the rose with gratitude, opening your heart to her. Let her show you compassion, forgiveness, the love that it has for you, and let it fill in those spaces where you weren't loving yourself, where maybe you gave your power away, and let it show you its nature as your nature. Make an altar, light a candle, light some incense, give an offering. And if she asks something of you, keep your word if you agree to fulfill that request. And before there were beads on a rosary, before Catholicism, people strung together rings of flowers as offerings of prayer to the Divine Mother. So you can take the head of a rose and feel it against your skin and the soft petals. Just let the rose nurture you as your mother, Mother Nature. And smell her healing perfume, taking it into your lungs, into your body, taking in the color with the portals of your eyes, and feeling the color absorb into your root chakra, saying its mantra, I am home, letting the rose energy open all the flowers of your chakras, the sacral, I create, I feel, the solar plexus, I sustain, the heart, I love, I am loved, the throat, I acknowledge, I communicate, I am powerful, I speak my truth, the third eye, I see, the crown, I receive, I connect, and let them work together. I am home, I sustain my home. I create love, I communicate truth through love. I see with my heart, I receive connection. So I'm just gonna keep blasting you. Poof. creator of all that is, it is requested that your feeling, knowing, and definition of unconditional love, the 528 hertz frequency of the rose, is downloaded into us at this time, cleaning and clearing our cells, molecules, and atoms with the light of the seventh plane. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Show us it is done. And say yes to that if you are in agreement. And so now I just want us to sit with each other. And if you want to open the gallery view on your own computer, or just know that we are here connecting our hearts and beaming this frequency to each other. And remembering to breathe. And letting it fill this Zoom space with our beaming hearts. Letting it fill those cauldrons that sit above our head. And when the love energy is overflowing, we can let it flow over us and letting it stream back into the earth to assist in her healing and to offer support to those in need at this time. And we have become the rose. See your whole body as a giant flower in bloom. And we are that sitting lotus. We are very powerful beings. Every choice, every opportunity to radiate out from our hearts, this unconditional love frequency, we are creating an explosion, an epicenter of vibrational waves that directly affect our environments. And this is our superpower. When we focus our attention and our intentions, our prayers through this portal, aligning with the 0 point field, unconditional love, and sacred neutral, in this space of balance, we can open that space for whatever comes our way. Be it conflict, pain, when your body is suffering. These are messages to surrender our resistance, to listen. Going in will reflect out. Go inside your body and ask your organs, what do they want to release? When anxiety and fear come along, ask what is the truth that needs to be spoken at this time. The image of the myth of Atlas comes up, and he's holding the world. He's struggling for eternity. What burdens and obligations are you dragging around? What are you shouldering? Do you have a pain in your neck? And the message was, we can merge with our boulder, with our earth, so that we can be in conversation, asking and receiving the information so that it can act out its density. And slowly we forgive, we see the boulder with compassion. Slowly it begins to change frequency. It transforms, and eventually it disappears. And in those times we are feeling like these densities have control over us, we practice the weight of the rose. We let the energy flow through us, back into the earth, back to our mother. We say, thank you for this reminder. Thank you for this reminder where I was out of alignment, where I wasn't loving myself enough, where I lost connection. Thank you for reminding me of my divinity in your mirror. The flowers are ancient beings here to remind us of our nature, that we are nature, our allies in connection, offering us a direct portal to access a higher vibration. They hold this frequency as a constant stream of unconditional love available to you if you choose to accept it. Asking for these roads to open will not be pleasant always. We are calling in the shadow to heal so that we can fill those spaces with light. It will reveal your purpose, your passion, It will mean committing to loving yourself, treating your mind and body like a temple, bringing awareness to what you're feeding it, what media you ingest, what friends you hang out with. It means honoring your truth, and sometimes that means creating boundaries and listening to your intuition, gearing up, asking yourself, what do I need today that will make it easier? Cultivating ease and grace. What will make this task or confrontation pleasurable or even joyful? How can I take care of myself in order to face what is in front of me today? And knowing that sometimes that can also mean doing nothing, allowing it to flow through, flow back into nature to be transmuted. Sometimes it's letting someone else help us. And wherever you are is the perfect place to begin. Time is just the motion of the present moment. And everything in your life, all these challenges brought you here in this space right now. And together we are activating. We are beaming our hearts out in reflection of one another. Thank you for being here. This has taken courage, love, and commitment. The path is long, and this has been a brief rest stop to share in our efforts. So keep listening to this song in your heart. Go where your passion is and desire is leading you. If that's showing up at a protest, go there. If it's an intuition to call an old friend, do it. Your frequency is being called to show up as an antenna in that space. And if you can, even for a few seconds, hold your frequency in balance, you are in service to yourself and others. So thank you for creating this space with me and allowing this transmission to be received with love, gratitude, and joy. I love you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Really thank you, Angel, for
Oh,
sharing that inspiration.
so beautiful.
It was the rose.
It was the rose, yes. But the rose spoke through you. So thank you for being that medium. I like that, Brian. I don't know if anybody caught that, but the rose rose to the occasion. So thank you, Reverend Angel.
Beautiful.
I got a lot of messages and a lot of healing from that, and I'm sure everybody else would agree and feels that energy too. So yes, thank you for facilitating and being that medium and sharing it with us all. I'm like still in like kind of like a little bit of like a in between mental state, but I'm like, what's next? So thank you all for coming and thank you for joining us. There's some before we conclude the service, and before Angel gives the benediction, I am going to just make some quick announcements, just some upcoming events that we have going on here that I'd like to share. So we have some upcoming events. March 21st at 5 p.m. It's a Sunday. Will be our next Open Doorway online service. We will have a guest lecture that will be Jennifer Halpern of jensuniverse.com. She is a healer, very spiritual, enlightened, friend of our animal friends, ally of our animal friends, She's just an all-around amazing person and a good friend. So look forward to hearing what she has to say and offer us as our guest lecturer. We have some message circles coming up as well. March 12th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have Siobhan Claire as the co-conductor of that message circle. And then March 26th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have another one of our message circles with Nakenya Hall, and I will be the other co-conductor with both those circles. And then I am every month up in Port Jarvis, New York, doing private readings as well as conducting a seance message circle. And that's going to be at March 20th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is an in-person circle. Of course, we'll be wearing our masks and taking precaution, you know, with what is going on in the world. But March 20th at 4:30 p.m. if you want to get some of that, if you're in the Port Jarvis area and get those vibrations from a message circle, I would suggest coming. And you can go to awakeningny.com in order to get any tickets or reservations for both message circles or the March 20th circle. So I'll send that link in the chat. And with that said, I'll have Angel take it away and close our service in prayer.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank the creator of all that is, the divine parent, our masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. We thank the lords of the Akashic records for their point of view, and we thank the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. And we thank the guardians of the directions and the elements of the earth, air, water, fire, and spirit for holding space for us to share our hearts and the courage to keep shining our light. Amen. Aho.
Amen. Thank you all. So you can unmute your mics and talk and be merry. I'm going to be putting some links in the chat for everybody to see.
I don't know if my mic is unmuted or not.
It is.
Well, let me say, Angel, that was it was magnificent. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Angel. That was very powerful and much needed, and I appreciate it very, very much, and I love you. Thank you.
Very beautiful.
Very powerful.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank
you for inviting me. This has really been great.
Thanks, Angel.
Thank you, Angel.
So happy all my family and friends could be here tonight. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank God. Angel, love you.
Beautiful.
Love you.
It was wonderful.
Thank you, God.
And my mother is here.
Oh boy. My mom, I think my mom's still here. No, I think she might have left.
I didn't
My mom
see
was
her
here.
at all. Was she here? I didn't see her.
Yes.
She just showed up, or I don't know, maybe she was here longer. Lisa at the bottom.
Hi, Lisa.
Oh, no, I was here. I've been here.
Oh, I didn't look at anyone.
That was beautiful.
That was amazing.
Now,
Thank you,
Terence, you
Anthony.
recorded this, right?
Correct.
Is it possible for Matisse to hear it?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on YouTube, our YouTube
Okay.
channel.
Okay, because it was just extraordinary.
Yes, it was very powerful.
Energy was fantastic.
Mhm.
Extremely.
Yeah, David, you probably got a lot out of that.
Oh yeah.
And the rose was beautiful.
Yes.
It really,
Wow.
Angel, it's Nancy. I was very touched by this because I used to live in New York, and a spiritualist church, I don't know, it was like in the 90s, I think, up there in, in Manhattan. And there was a big vase of beautiful roses on the altar. And this place was full, but the voice came through and the message came through to me because my grandmother's name was Rose. And it was like, I was young, I was in my 20s, whatever, but it was like a really special thing. And now my daughter's name is Rose.
Oh, that's sweet.
Rose, yeah. I was touched by that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angel, I have to say that a lot of us go through things, and the part that spoke to me the most is how the rose went into the ground and she went deep. And, we forget the hard part of growing, the seed, the planting, the process. So thank you for reminding me of the process and how the outcome is of the beautiful rose, but the process is also, the thorns even hurt, but the process is part of the walk, and to be reminded of the outcome is encouraging. So thank you so much for your encouragement.
Yes, the message was just what I and what everybody else is, I feel in agreement, is that needed to be heard, and it was a beautiful message, and one that I will keep in my heart for going forward. But yeah, life is very much our journey, our experiences is very much like a rose, where we got to get through some thorny bits, and then we bloom into this beautiful flower that we can appreciate and actually grow from. But I put in the chat box for everybody to be aware that there's the link to the YouTube channel for the Open Doorway. This service will be put on there very soon. So if you wanted to revisit the meditation, the prayer, or Angel's medium of the rose or message from the rose, I would say follow the link, go to the YouTube. We also have our past services on there as well for you to enjoy. If you want to just kind of snoop around and see what meditations that you enjoy, or maybe see other guest speakers that we've had featured here. And then I'm also going to put down send the link to subscribe to our newsletter for more events coming up. We do message circles and of course other services that are online, and we'd like to feature guest ministers and guest lecturers on the online services, since we're not meeting up in person right now. But just sign up and you get some word of what we're doing. And I promise I won't spam your email. I try to do it very sparingly. So many blessings to everybody. Thank you for joining. And I hope to see all of Party of Angel again.
It was so beautiful. I'm just so moved.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jen.
Nice job,
you have
Angel.
to see this.
Thank you.
Theo loved it too.
Janet, you must be on my account.
What are you saying, John?
Your name is my name, so you must be
I
on
know.
my Zoom account.
I have no idea. You had your name in front of you, and you had your
Thank
name
you,
in front of
Brian.
me. I'm assuming everyone knows that I was not Terence Harding.
I don't know. We may have to draw straws, or somebody may have to ask questions, see who the real Terence is.
Wow.
Theo always sits with me during meditations. He was right here between my legs when you were doing the rose. And when you finished up, the energy was so fantastic. He just put his head down and started snoring. So cute.
Dogs are so receptive.
Janet, were any of the cats around or no?
No, they were here to be. Oh yes, I'm wrong. Portia is here. Portia is here. She loves the energy, and she loves being in a room with Matisse and me. She just loves that. So she's still with me. Benny went into the other room to snooze.
And it makes sense, energetically, I felt the energy was so powerful even before the service, leading up to the service. I not only rearranged my entire room beforehand, I also was like, oh, I'm gonna wear this shirt. I haven't worn this shirt in years. And then I didn't realize that Angel was going to be giving us a message from the rose. So I picked my red shirt, my red India shirt.
Yes,
and
your rose
it also had the fortune message that I had gotten probably I went to maybe a Chinese restaurant at some point years ago, and I had kept that fortune from the fortune cookie, and it stated, the essential conditions of everything you do must be choice, love, and passion.
Yeah. Right.
And that also was very much a part of the message that we received this evening.
Yes.
So it all fit together perfectly. So an amazing gift.
It was really amazing.
Perfect.
Terence,
Hi, Jocelyn.
thank you, and good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for
Bye.
being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank
Love you.
Love you.
So beautiful.
So.
Ah,
Bye, Mom.
taking this 84-year-old body to bed. Good night.
I think you're rounding up. You're 83, Janet.
I know, but ever since I was a little girl, my birthday comes so late in the year that I always start thinking, oh, this is the year that I'm going to be 5. This is the year I'm going to be 10. Or this is the year I'm going to be 30. And I start thinking that so early that by now, by February, by March, April, I'm already at that birthday. So it was just a little slip. Taking this 83-year-old body to bed, sorry. It was, I'm going to sleep very well after that very, very beautiful talk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.